Hi, Tony DeWitt here, Missouri appellate attorney and a guy who likes to make the law make sense on YouTube. Today I am finishing up my series on broken hearts and divorce. We did cheating in the first episode, we did the preparing for divorce in the last episode, and today we're going to take a look at what happens when you are completely finished with the divorce and it's time to move on. Hey, if you're enjoying this content, please feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel and makes it possible for me to continue to do this. That's it. That's the commercial. Often it's not easy to figure out exactly where to go after you have been living with someone for 5, 10, 15 years, and all of a sudden you are now on your own and you don't have the kinds of support systems that you did previously. So one of the first things I want to talk about is who's important here. And that's you. You have to look out for number one. There is an absolutely great book called Looking Out for Number One. It's written by a guy by the name of Robert J. Ringer. And it has an absolutely marvelous theory to it, which is that you need to look out for yourself before you can look out for others. One of the most helpful things in that book is what he says about moving on. He says, if you've made a mistake, you apologize and forget it. And if you haven't made a mistake, you just skip the apology and forget it. Divorce is a lot like that. Somewhere along the line, you and your spouse made a mistake. You have now fixed it with a divorce decree, and now the only person you have to worry about is you. Unless you have children, in which case you pay your child support and you make your visitations the way you're supposed to, and you work hard to support the custodial spouse in her endeavors, or his endeavors, as the case may be, and make sure that the children know that they are very well loved. Nothing particularly earth-shattering in that. But if you find yourself looking back and sort of pining about the way things used to be, that's a red flag waving. It's a danger signal to you, and you need to do something about it. You probably need to go see a therapist and have somebody to talk to and get some strategies for dealing with those kinds of feelings, because those kinds of feelings are normal, but sometimes they can wind up being self-destructive. Now, what you have to watch out for are things like feeling like you need to be in control, feeling like you need to manipulate the situation, scheming, planning, that sort of thing. The issue is, why do you care? You shouldn't care. Your ex-spouse has made a clean break from you. The only people who have not made a clean break from you, if you are a parent, are your children. They're always going to be in your life. But your ex-spouse is not. You don't have to worry about that ex-spouse. You can go on and live your life without them. Now, a lot of times people do things to continue to see and continue to have conflict with their ex-spouse. And it can happen to you or it can come from you. If it happens to you, again, there's lots of resources you can go to. The court system, therapists, you can have court-ordered counseling. All kinds of things can be used to deal with that situation if you are on the receiving end. And if you find yourself trying to do that on your end, you need to go, again, seek help and get some help to deal with why you care so much that you're willing to try and manipulate somebody else's life after you've divorced them. You don't need to do that. You just need to be you. I can tell you that over time, the pain diminishes. And it diminishes in direct relationship to how much time you spend thinking about it. The more time you spend thinking about, worrying about, pining over the loss of your relationship, it's going to be more painful. So the more time equals more pain. Direct relationship. On the other hand, less pain comes from not thinking about it. Initially, you're going to be thinking about it every day, but over time, it's going to get better. The key is tomorrow is going to be better. It really is. And you have to get through to tomorrow. And the day after tomorrow will be even better. And pretty soon you are not going to care. You're not going to worry about what's going on in your ex-spouse's life. You are just going to be able to live your life. Now that is if you don't shoot yourself in the foot. Conflict is always expensive, and it's especially expensive if you wind up getting yourself in trouble with the criminal law. You don't want to get involved in domestic abuse issues. You definitely want to stay far away from that. And if you have an ex-spouse who may be threatening you, you don't ever want to talk to them without a closed door between you and them. And if it gets bad enough, the courts are there to issue restraining orders and orders of protection, and there are a lot of community resources available to you if you need to do that. Sometimes it's helpful to understand when someone is doing that to you that the wounded bear is the most dangerous animal out there. And if they are emotionally wounded by the divorce, maybe they didn't see it coming, maybe they haven't adjusted to it well, sometimes it's better to be a little bit understanding, but from a distance, and try hard to de-escalate things as opposed to escalate them. But if, absolutely you have to protect yourself. And so you should not feel bad about doing that. In the post-divorce era, you're going to have to adjust your finances because you used to have two incomes coming in. Now you only have one, or in the case of child support, one and about a third. And those are important things to recognize up front. You want to adjust your spending. You want to adjust your expectations. If previously you went to a big box store and bought brand name jeans for your children to go to school in, you may have to go to Walmart and buy Walmart jeans for a while because you're going to have to adjust both your expectations and your finances. And those are some of the more important things. You want to always try to do the right thing by your children. You want to always try to do the right thing by your ex-spouse, because doing the wrong thing is one of those things that leads to conflict. And here's another important tip. You do not have to go to every fight that's thrown. That's right. People can bring a fight to you and yell and scream and curse at you, and you can sit there and tolerate it and listen to them and let them vent and then say, thank you for sharing, have a nice day, close the door and not think about it any further, because they are the person who's upset. They need to figure out how to calm themselves down. You are not going to do that, and any attempt that you make is probably not going to be appreciated. So let them reach conclusions on their own about how to behave. Eventually, you will come to a point where you don't think about your divorce and you're healthy and you're emotionally ready to get involved in something else. It's a normal human tendency to want to put a Band-Aid on a cut, just the way it is with a relationship loss. You want to replace that feeling that you had of being in a loving relationship. But this is where you have to be the most cautious. This is not a situation you can fix with a Band-Aid, because people are not interchangeable. You can certainly find another man or another woman to get into a relationship with in the immediate time after the divorce, but you are probably not ready for that. And the reason you're not ready for that is because you're probably not healed yet. And so don't do that. That's a good way to shoot yourself in the foot and wind up causing yourself additional heartache. And you may wind up, if you get into a relationship like that, or even several of them, and they all end badly, you may reach the wrong conclusion that you're just not meant to be with people. And again, that's probably wrong, but you're not going to know until you give yourself time to heal. I would wait at least a year to get involved with someone else, and at least 3 years before you even think about getting married to someone else. You need that time to adjust to a new reality and understand how you are and understand what the dynamics are in a new relationship so that you can be healthy and happy and supportive if you wind up getting married to someone else down the road. That's what I have for you today. Hopefully you found this interesting, helpful. If you have any comments, leave them in the comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, all the stuff we ask you to do. Thank you so much for watching, and have a marvelous day. Catch me down here at the beach next time. If you like this video, here are a few others you might try, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a terrific day, guys.